Hello, everyone. So good to see you again. So good to be here. I am the Silver-Quill, welcoming you all once again to Fulfillment Friday after a 2-week hiatus. But now I return in all my whatever the hey this is. And we just fade that on out. Boop. But yes, it's good to see you all again. It's good to be back. It's been quite the active time in my home of Colorado because I hit the ground running. More on that in a moment, but first let's get some greetings out of the way. Like hello to Commodore Steele and Enderpup, Adam Leisman, and Cherry Fluff Belly Official, who's alive for the night. Well, I hope you're alive for longer than that. Pokemon Fire Eevee and Redmon 565. Oh, you finally watched Sam and Max. So, is it as exhausting as the comic? And then Trinary, always good to see ya. Crafty Gamer. Blue Ink 2025. Who just watched a Let's Play of Crash Bandicoot. The new or the old? There's a question. And Cosmena Inspira. Good to have you here. Infinite Warlock. And who else? For a minute there, Lunar Brony is here, but I don't know why, but somehow Lunar Brony's icon causes a trick of my eyes. For a minute there, I think I'm seeing Mad Munchkin's icon. But that's not a bad thing. I just need to double check my eyesight. And of course, I am very glad to have you all here. Ease good times. Ah, my goodness, but what an adventure it has been. I had a wonderful time at HarmonyCon, where I actually got to win the trivia contest for Bobby C's Trivia Trot. Though I can't say that I won it on my own skill, I owe a great deal to Do the Daring Do, who had excellent knowledge of Hitch Trailblazer, his favorite, and Texas in general, and we lucked out on some horse terminology. Now, the one thing that I don't quite have with me is full health. It was a weird experience. First, I thought I'd caught a cold. But Blissy mentioned to me that they have these invasive tree species from further south that just fire off allergens like you wouldn't believe. Even Claritin D, which I consider to be the nuclear option of antihistamines, was powerless against it. So my voice went, I had sinus pressure. It was not an easy time. I thought it had become an infection, but when the plane ascended on my way home, my ears cleared, my head was less swimmy, but I'm still having bouts of, sneezing and blowing my nose. It's not easy. So I apologize in advance if I make some offensive sounds during this stream. Oh well. And hello, Preston Cox. It's been a while. And Amatan Lumity, glad to have you here. Oh, Michael Bullington knows what I'm talking about. Cedar trees. Oh, they are so powerful. But HarmonyCon was a lot of fun. I was not vending, and without the vending, I found that I was unmoored, adrift at times, but I got to attend some panels I wouldn't have otherwise gotten to see, including a very good lore deep dive into G5 by some very folks who put a great deal of effort into researching and double checking their facts, but also highlighting the multiple difficulties of the production crew that they faced, in no small part because the managerial executives kept changing course. They kept changing their minds, which gives you less time to flesh things out. G5 had a lot of factors working against it before even the movie aired. Ahoy, Lobo Eye, although I could swear you're my bud, Advent Nebula. Or maybe I'm just going crazy. YouTube keeps playing with my brain. And so therefore, But glad to have y'all here. Glad to be back. After the good old HarmonyCon, I went with Lightning Bliss and a few others to an Airbnb, and we had a week of just decompressing and checking out how things are going. And one of the highlights was deers. There were some beautiful deers. As, let's see, I'm just bringing out some photos because I want you all to see these lovely animals that were rather fearless, I have to say. Rather. Oh, they also took me to a Buc-ee's, and I got to tell you, I'd never been in that store before. If you don't know, this is like, it's a gas station meets Costco. And I know you say, oh, but Silver, Costco has a gas station. Yeah, this is just if you only had the gas station part and applied it to the whole of Costco, because it is not so much a gas stop with a convenience mart as it is a food court without any seating. Anyway, so first off, let me bring up a photo and switch things over to live streaming. There we are. Yes, this was how close a pregnant doe got to me. I didn't have to zoom in very far to see her and just be in awe of their beauty. But also do not touch because they are wild animals, no matter how comfortable they may feel being near a human. And when they're pregnant, this one was very aggressive in terms of competing for food. Yes, good memory, Infinite Warlock. I did post on this online. But it never hurts to post some more. So here we are, and well, we've got things to do, things to talk about. Now, Preston Cox, I probably wouldn't do a meme of I'm at soup with Firebrand because that's been played out quite a bit. I would like to do something with Firebrand, but I'm not sure what it would be just yet. And yes, YouTube does drive us all crazy. The algorithm is not your friend. You're high on attention 1 minute and leaking subscribers the next. It's maddening. But in the pursuit of YouTube, I'm going to be doing some editing tonight. Arienko, you got the first art of your Sona. Are we talking fur Sona? Pony Sona? Which Sona, I wonder? And Inquisitor 751, you heard from Meat Canyon, who told all about Les Buc-ee's. Okay. You are Advent Nebula. My memory is not so totally fragmented. Just a little. Yeah, there's a Buc-ee's in Loveland, Colorado, but I've never been, so this was quite the experience. Alrighty, so what am I up to right now? Well, first off, I believe a little musical accompaniment would be helpful. So, part of my trip featured what would I call it? A slight detour into my writing group, who made a vote on the final design with some revisions. And here's our boy. This is what we're going to try for, or at least what I'm going to present as our mascot. Garbage can, because it's very recognizable and it has some sci-fi elements, but there were some changes, especially from the original. Let's see, do I have Trashbot Uno? There you are. See, originally he was bleu, and these were going to be drawers for old drafts, rejection letters, you name it. But as one of the members pointed out, we're not just a group that's trying to poke holes in your story. It really is trying to encourage that out of finding out what does and doesn't work, you get a completed manuscript. you achieve that oh so wondrous feeling of I made this, I finished the task. So we did a few things to reinforce that idea. Now, this drawer is going to fold out to produce a recycled manuscript. Well, no, I shouldn't say recycled manuscript, but rather, while it takes all the ideas that didn't work, all the experiences, all the insights, and then it combines them to create a new manuscript. But because of the rebirth associated with recycling, we went with this green color. And while they were concerned, speculative fiction is more than just sci-fi. It is fantasy, alternate history, steampunk, cosmic horror, other horror, stuff that is beyond the mortal realm, so to speak, or stuff that you just wouldn't encounter in everyday life. And so therefore, I turned the second drawer into a drum that will rotate to show different symbols, in this case sci-fi. But as I'm going to invent some hats and other looks for the guy, so that while he may be sci-fi at the get-go, he can be any representative. Are we allowed to call him a clanker? Well, why not, Enderpup? I mean, I don't think he was in the war, but that's okay. So, I don't know this Waffle House you speak of, Inquisitor. I am confused, but that's probably because I'm old. Ah, now Enderpup has a fascinating idea. What is your favorite punk genre? Now, what do we got here? We got diesel punk involving tanks. We've got steampunk. We've got cyberpunk. What other punks might exist? Hey, you bunch of punks, get off my lawn. Well, Preston Cox, have no fear. I'm working on an after the fact this very evening. But first, I'm working on a turnaround for this boy. And, well, there needs to be a bit of experimentation here. Unlike my pony, or in this case, Hippogriff Sona, I haven't gone with just base colors. I tried to add a little bit of shading. But one of the things I've recently learned is that shading with just the same color isn't worth much. But here's a little trick I want to show. Same color, 2 squares. If I change this to multiply, all the brighter stuff becomes invisible. And so it automatically darkens whatever it's looking at. If I change it to screen, that's the opposite. So it becomes a brighter. But it's kind of boring when the color of choice is just the same color as what it's shading. So we then get the question of what happens if, say, if I shade it with red, maybe not so intense. Not so much. Let's just circle through various colors. You see, a sort of violet becomes a bit brighter. But really, well, first off, I shouldn't be. I want to see if I can have more dynamic shading. Or if maybe I'm just better off with putting a little lime in it. Something to consider. I should probably watch some tutorials. This shading right here is actually violet colored. If I can actually get, well, maybe I can't. The layering process is fickle indeed. There you are. Compound clipping path. Huh. That's odd. See, so this is a gradient with some violet in it. And this is another, but far, far fainter. But I will say, to my own eyes, it still looks rather, shall we say, green. So I've got some learning to do there. But I digress. We must move ever onward. Oh yes, and using the turntable technique of a Illustrator 2026 beta, I can take a look at other angles. So this is just to help with the turnaround and keep things consistent. But as you can see, it leaves a lot to be desired in the finer details. But that's where a human being is supposed to step in. AI should be a tool that assists you, not replaces. Oh, Kamodra Steel it points out that there's also electric punk. Is sapphic punk a thing? I'm not sure, Mary Drake. Oh, Enderpup, I would not go for Tesla punk. Not with the current branding. No, sir. Oh, the worst thing that could happen to Tesla. Mascot more powerful. Uh-oh. Advent points out that a Waffle House index in Florida. If a Waffle House closes, you know a hurricane is bad. So apparently they're sort of the last bastion of civilization to stand against the storm. I'm sure our friends Krilka Kane and Kaiju Nokami would want to know that, though I'm not sure they'd go to a Waffle House. Very unsure. Grab this. And yes, I applied a little bit of the broniness with the line art because I figure, why not? I'm the designer, gosh darn it. If I can't show my enjoyment and history of Pony, then really, what's the point? What's the point, I ask you? All right, so we take you. Oh. And now we draw inside this guy. And paste in place. Now it serves both as an object and a clipping mask. Good evening, Jay Yoshi. It's good to see you. Ah, hello, Blue Ink. An interesting premise to take AI art of MLP and draw it in your own style. That could work. I'll be curious what the results are. But at the same time, there's something to be said for just experimentation, especially in art, is what leads to happy accidents, as a great sage once said. That great sage being Bob Ross. So I applaud the idea of reversing the course of AI, but don't let it become your sole inspiration, please. Por favor. I like to roll my R's in case you didn't notice. Alrighty. Now we go with the green. Although blue will always be my favorite color, I think this was a good idea. To encourage with a sense of rebirth. And what says rebirth better than green? Here we go. Come on now. Line up for me. Yes. Ah, okay. Cosmic Isper knows what I'm talking about. You watch Bob Ross every night here on YouTube. That's something else. I believe Bob Ross is no longer with us, sadly, but his art techniques and his videos endure, thank goodness. Tell you true, on a trip where we were all a little tired and I think a little cranky, my family and I had, well, just some tension, but it all cleared up when we accidentally tuned into Bob Ross. Something about that man's voice, just serene demeanor. It is truly a blessing. Oh, come here, you. I need you to look this way. Boop. Yes, JOC, blue is my fave, and, well, great minds and birds think alike. And to Preston, I, well, haven't trolled an MLP character in a while, but give it time. Give it time. Ah, well. In good order, I will turn off this little guide so I can draw a bit more. To think Bob Ross was once in the United States Marine Corps. I don't know how good or effective a Marine he was, but my gosh, it seems like a contradiction. But hey, just goes to show you really shouldn't stereotype people, especially jarheads. I believe that's what the right term. I'm sure Firebrand would critique me. Maybe that's the short I should do. A quick guide to referencing military. I do it wrong, he corrects it. Jarhead, part of the Schmuckers division. Yes, let's fix this. Select same stroke weight. Rather expected more there. How about you? There we go. Zoom in, yeah. Select the same stroke weight again. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Alrighty. Marines are gunnies? I thought that was a term for a gunnery sergeant. Well, see, this is why I need Firebrand's expertise. He can correct me. Oop, there we go. Did it again. Better. Now let's see. The angle of this gradient is wrong. Nope. Actually, I think 0 is all I need. No, not quite. There we are. Oop. There we are. And so therefore, now let's see, what other interesting things about Tejas? Well, how can I put this? Austin bears a great deal of resentment from the rest of Texas because they view it now as a miniature version of California. And if there's one thing I've gained an appreciation for, it's how important Texan identity is to Texans. If you're anything that would interfere with that, I think is regarded with great hostility. Now, of course, the great contradiction here is that they're very protective of Texan identity, but they don't want to get into identity politics. If anything, I feel like they should understand better. If you have a view of being a true Texan, then I think you can understand when someone's trying to be true to themselves. Question for those who has a cold... For a question for everyone, who here has a cold shower because taken one every single day since Monday? Well, honestly, I've tried a few cold showers. Can't say I really enjoy them. I get hypnotized by the wonderful warmth of a nice shower. But there's a lot to be said for cold showers. Apparently, they can be very help with awareness, get blood flow going. So there's a lot of pros to it as well. I forget all the medical benefits. Alrighty. And here we go. And then one more. Ba-doom, ba-doom. You will be this color. Nope. Maybe this color. There you go. All right, that should do it for the guide. Oi. Yoshi basks in the hot water hitting your back. And then wonder why later the back of my neck is so dry and itchy. Well, yep. Alrighty. Forgive me 1 sec. I need to blow my nose. I don't want you to have to listen to this. Okay, that's better. Alrighty, so onward, ever onwards. Let's copy all this. I'm going to need to dissect it. I don't want to undo my work. I just dissected a little. Oh, now I'm flashing back to an old episode of Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, where he had chefs on. The chef is like, I didn't kill the chicken, I just dissect it. And then what? You go out and kill some more? Oh, Grim Reaper? I do miss that show. Unfortunately, several of the voice actors for it have passed away, so there's no revival on that one. Here we go. Let's just keep the angles right by flipping this one. There we go. One zen. Little circle from the middle. There you are. Ah, I see. That's better. And then take away the shadow. And so there, down we go. Boop. Ba-doop. Ba-doop. Not quite what I intended, but it'll work. Yeah, right about here. Actually, here, I need a little guiding line. Excellent. Yes, excellent. Anyway, where are we at? My favorite Rainbow Dash moment, Preston Cox. Well, my favorite Rainbow Dash would be, I think, in Hurricane Fluttershy, where she's coaching Fluttershy and sort of gently coaxing her to open up about her fears. This showed a much more mature Rainbow Dash than what we saw in, say, Dragon Shy. Because it was a wonderful evolution of her character and a reminder that these are not static reset to zero characters as I might be used to in other media. Now, don't get me wrong, Rainbow could still be quite impulsive. But throughout the entire episode, I thought she was a fantastic leader, a fantastic athlete, all that good stuff. Whoop, come on. Now, let's see here. Don't need any lines. But I do need this to be darker. And that's what this will do. Oh, wait. What is this? Ah! Okay, well then. First things first, let's get in this thing. Get rid of you. I will make you screen. And I'll just make you. Oh, I said I'll make you a little darker. Hello? Darker? Hmm. How vexing. There we go. Yes, Commander Steel, Rainbow Dash is the Amazon archetype. And no, that's not a Jeff Bezos reference. She is the female warrior who approaches problems as challenges to be overcome rather than genuine obstacles. And while I don't think a patriarchy is anything you have to worry about in Equestria, she's the kind of person who would welcome the challenge. Shape builder. I don't need that right now, but I appreciate the offer. Now I really just need the height on this thing. 0.1501. 1501. There we go. Now, you know, since Illustrator got an update, closing shapes has actually gotten more difficult somehow. I wonder if there's been a tweak in the settings I'm unaware. Well, we'll deal with that momentarily. What I really need to do is finish this up. Boop. Here we go. "12 years since my first video," says Enderpup. Good Lord. 12 years. You know what the funny part is? I used to think that this would just be, oh, I'll get on my soapbox maybe once a year. But nope. Well, in some ways I've made that true, I guess, but not by intent. I'll just have to try and get back in the game. Path, why do you not offset for me? Let's set you to multiply. Ooh. And we'll maybe set that transparency. No. Sorry, just thinking aloud as I do stuff. As I am wont to do. I need it a little darker. See, the idea here is to create the illusion of depth. And part of that illusion involves gradients. No, sorry, Renamon. Apparently, there was no second season of Sam and Max. They were, well, I tried reading some of Sam and Max for an MBS show with Jasper Pye, and I found it really tiring. Like, Sam and Max is relentless in its presentation. Now let's angle this a little. I don't want this to just be straight on. There we go. That looks good. And I guess you could use a slightly smaller stroke. Let's make you... There we go. Here we go. Move this a little lower. Excellent. Yes, excellent. I say that a lot, but I mean it. Smithers. Now then. Come on now. Work with me here, Clippy Mask. Work with me. Oh, it's a compound Clippy Mask. That just makes everything better, doesn't it? And we'll affect blur, Gaussian blur. And for a minute there, I was afraid I hadn't unmuted myself from earlier. That'd be great. I really am just talking to myself. It finally happened. I cracked. Though I guess I don't really crack until I hear another voice replying. There we go. Now, a quick little version of this, but we'll cut it, delete the excess, and then, there you are. We'll make you this profile, flip it around so it's more on the interior. Okay. I've been cracked for years, Mary Drake. Well, you're not wrong. The illusion of depth sounds like a lot of video game difficulties. It's something else. The illusion of depth. What most politicians, educators, and artists strive to create, not all with the same intent. There we are. There we go. Think they'll do it for the tire. Before I retire, I need to add a little shading over here too. Let's just make you one solid color. Oops. Forgot. Should have taken that out first. As I say, one solid color with a little gradient to help show it's under something. Minus 90? Nope, regular 90. Excellent. Looking good, looking good. But we're coming up on the top of the hour, and no matter what the state of this fellow, I will switch gears. Because, well, there's only so much I can ask everyone to watch. Besides, the nice thing is, it doesn't take much to just flip them around and have the other angle. There is some simplicity in symmetry. Oops, but I need a little help on this. Okay, so it's the right size. That's what counts. What else we got? Running in front of a car gets you tired. Running behind a car gets you exhausted. Very good, Adam Leisman. Uh-oh. Cosmona, you've got, your cat is being super needy? I got to meet Leighton Bliss's kitty, albeit briefly. But it was a good kitty. Made me think of my bud Cruelica's cat, Wren. Which I need to check in on those buds. See how they've been doing. See if the Waffle Houses nearby them are still standing. There you are, Pathfinder. Splendid. I guess I just set this to multiply so we can darken things up a little. Defend the waffles, cries Crafty Gamer. Now then, I wanted to ask, who here has had a chance to see either Goat or Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die? I'm intrigued by both and want to consider what I'm doing this weekend. Besides, well, working on 10 bajillion projects. Here we are. Oh, but I would say I had such a great afternoon today. I went to the Mile High Animation Club. Oh, no, Animation Society, I should say. And got to talk with one of their instructors who knows Toon Boom. And we talked a bit about stuff that I didn't know to ask Minty Root. And so I got a good lesson and hopefully some good ideas on how I can better prepare Silver-Quill. So that's part of what I'm going to work on this weekend. Alrighty. That's looking good. Oh, yes. I'm forgetting. Here we go. All right. This is going to be... Whoop. Come on. Show me what I'm working on. Ah, there's my problem. I'm still drawing inside this guy. Now the idea here is that we take the dash down to like 1. Well, maybe not even 1. But we fill the gap, and that creates a line of little dots. Happy little dots. I said happy little dots. What? That's better. Now, object expand appearance. Let's expand them again to make them fills rather than strokes. Ah, yes, now I must ungroup them. Don't need those. I need these. Oi. I don't need you to be a compound path. I need you to be an individual. And let's be sure about this. 0.0214. Ah, 0.0225. So close, yet so far. Please pardon me. 5 minutes to 9, yes. Alden, you're doing dishes? Well, that's good. Gotta keep up to pace on that. I need to do some of that myself. All right, now I need you to be... There we go. I have to draw that because I can't really paste things in unless they have a point of reference. somewhat annoying. Not the worst thing in existence, though. Let's see. Let's bring you. I said, let's bring you, and you a little further forward. There we go now. Excuse me again. Ugh. Oh yeah, get down with the sickness. There we go. Dang it. Seems like no matter what I do, I always get the wrong 90 degrees on this thing. The rules seem to change on me every time. Terribly vexing, that's what it is. Alrighty, we are at the top of the hour. I believe that's enough for right now. I will continue this project, and I shall get my scrappy little trash bin mech his own arms again. Oh yes, just one last thing. I just want to remind myself to add these. Let's see, from about here down to here. What are these, you may ask? These are going to be, if he transforms from a trash can, that wheel's got to be stored somewhere. So this will be where the excess plating, let's call it, goes, and it'll be sort of a skid plate for him. Alrighty. I think that'll work. 2 little layers to give him a bit of a backside. Was this, like, he was seeing your videos and those of Josh Scorcher that got me into the show. One day he was still denying being a brony. Oh boy. Well, there's no denial anymore, is there now? Alrighty. So we'll save this guy and we'll switch gears over to the Premiere Pro. Oh yes. I need to change the settings, audio hardware. Output goes to Rodecaster Pro. Good. And we're just going to move the audio and the music down a little. So you like this, through use of a few masks, I'm able to actually get a bit of 3D going here.
Okay, I'm okay. Whew. Whew. I'm okay. But I gotta find the humor in things nowadays or else I'll go crazy. Or crazier.
Come on now.
I don't think it's a bold declaration to say 2025 was a difficult year. From national conflicts to blows and
Come on now.
having some of my local buds move out of state, and I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 weeks of 2020.
Got to change that to 3 months.
So when this news strangely popped up on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, I had July 15th, 2025, I had something that could at least take my mind off things.
Let's see if I take these down just a scope.
News strangely popped up on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. I had something that could at least take my mind off things, for which I am grateful. Now, I've seen many of my fellow fans denounce or decry this decision, and not without good cause. Yet before I tackle that, let's
I don't like to hear breaths, so I edit them out.
Before I tackle that, let's consider how this serves as an odd kind of compliment. I think back on so many cartoons I watched when I was a kid. While many strove to reach that 65-episode syndication goal line, few were able to
Just a little bit off the top of each one.
Few were able to garner such a following that corporations thought they could make some extra money by producing a live-action adaptation. For a time, there are only a few that came to mind. At one end of the spectrum was the ludicrous and campy Masters of the Universe movie.
Wow. Okay, let's add some fade ins and outs on these puppies. Sequence, supply, audio transition. And maybe this one will bring down just a bit.
Then there was the pièce de résistance that was the first live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. God, I love being a turtle! And then they tried to adapt Super Mario Brothers. And I think it speaks to the closed nature of the
Preston, I appreciate that you're have all these questions, but at the same time, it's such a wide array. It's hard to integrate that into the conversation or the task. What is it about the 65 episode capstone for shows back in those days, Warlock? Well, that was when you could reach syndication. You had to have that many episodes to re-air on other channels. In fact, MLP, the reason season 3 was so short is so they could get 65 episodes.
Super Mario Brothers. And I think it speaks to the closed nature of the cartoon live-action cycle that Michael Bay got his CG-stained hands on the Ninja Turtle. Michael Bay got his CG-stained hands on the Ninja Turtles franchise.
So frightening.
And we're waiting to see how a new live-action He-Man will turn out. In between these brackets, the early 2000s added a live-action G.I. Joe.
Oh, and a Kung Fu grip.
Let's give that a boost. Jeez. So quiet.
Oh, and a Kung Fu grip. Oh.
And Michael Bay's Transformers.
Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man. Bumblebee, stop lubricating the man.
Get that thing to stop, huh?
Can we please find a clip with a little more dignity?
I am directly below. Enemy scrotum.
Now this is just becoming fetishistic.
Okay, let's shorten that clip up a little.
Get that.
All right, let's do that. Michael Bay's Transformers helped move it back into the public awareness, but there's very little. I think it was also the first time that they put forth the idea Optimus and Megatron may have been friends before the war. But otherwise, no, I can't think of many positives.
Stop lubricating the man.
Can we please find a clip with a little more dignity?
I am directly below. Enemy scrotum. Enemy scrotum.
Now this is just becoming fetishistic.
Plus 2 Tomb Raider movies, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat adaptations with varying degrees of entertainment. And then there was this thing. Just a little bit more on that shortly. Yet for all this, it does speak to the subject matter's popularity.
Ba-boom, ba-boom.
Matter's popularity, the companies would even make the attempt. As noted on Animation Iconics website, a high-budget 3D animation project can cost up to $30,000. $30,000, whereas a first-grade live action can cost you upwards of $50,000. With that budgetary difference in mind, it seems that a live-action show is so much more of a financial risk. So I don't think I'll ever get to see a live-action Mask outside of the old 80s commercial.
Tracker here. Assemble masks. Intruder closing in.
80s commercial.
Tracker here. Assemble masks. Intruder closing in.
And even less of a chance of Starcom.
Now the secrets of Magna power deploy are mine.
That's my polarizing death.
Too late, Crowbar.
When I think of those ads and why they invested more on live action rather than more animated commercials like the Transformers and G.I. Joe, I wonder if part of the goal was to indeed make the series feel more real to the target audience. And if that was actually a mistake. And I hear you say, Silver, you vectored Verdun. What about the Disney live action movies? Yes, movies.
Ah, that reminds me. There's that. I have one more clip to download. Well, there's always just one more clip, isn't there? Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. Copy link. Come on now. Hopefully this one won't be so big a file. Others. Alrighty, come on. Show me how long you're going to take. No? Was that? Ah, the conversion. Let us watch the tension of the progress bar. Look as it fills the screen. Behold, as the purple becomes slightly darker purple. Oh yes, I have Venpai. I have seen the trailer for the new Mortal Kombat. I'm looking forward to it. I'm intrigued. I'm also embarrassed that I don't remember the name of the main character of the last Mortal Kombat movie who, well, things don't appear to go well for him. Alrighty. All that just to get one little clip, but oh well. No one ever accused me of being efficient. Hmm?
Take control of your diamond hunter! You know what? I'm just. Why round up remaining like what?
I like the Lion King myself.
There we go. And you will get to have a special spot as just there. Unlink and apply.
Action movies.
I like the Lion King myself.
Yes, this strange trend of reimagined classics that you vectored Verdun. What about the Disney live-action movies?
I like the Lion King myself.
Yes, this strange trend of
All right. It's too bad that his voice overlaps with the others. I wonder if I just move the audio one frame.
movies.
I like the Lion King myself.
Yes, this strange trend of
That'll
reimagined
work.
classics that's meant to be an update to modern audiences, but ends up disappointing almost everyone. The strange thing is that I tend to view these live actions in a separate category. While New Line Cinema took a bold chance on indie production company Golden Harvest and the Ninja Turtles movie, Disney's rehatching seems much more nepotistic. Even if the movie doesn't land well, there's still the backing from a media juggernaut to try again, and again, and again, and at this point I really think they should just stop. Now, Hasbro and
I really do think they should stop. Let's see, what have folks been talking about? Gem of the Holodams didn't really hit their mark either. They made a live-action Gem, but boy, that was actually kind of, from what I saw of the nostalgia critics behind the scene commentary, they really did some unethical things.
stop. Now, Hasbro and Amazon MGM Productions are certainly no lightweights, but I do get the sense that this is a far riskier venture than anything Disney cooked up. If it doesn't work out, I doubt they can just shrug and try again. Which leads to the question of whether or not they should even try. Fans have already begun posting on this as a bad idea, and I think that's based on bitter experience. There's an entire subset of YouTubers who will claim that these newer films fail because they're trying to be woke. This is both reductive and deceptive. Reductive in that it tries to and deceptive. Reductive in that it tries to make one point the sole complaint despite a variety of issues like the story structure, characterization, and CG visuals that just don't blend. Deceptive in that the presenter's real goal is to stoke anger against social change rather than engage in honest discussion about writing and storytelling. While so many things can go wrong with a modernization, I think one root cause is a flawed understanding of the original's appeal. If you can get at the heart of a story and add elements that still tap into that connection, which reach so many audience members, then I think any additions or updates could still resonate with the original idea. There are aspects of older animations that don't work with today's values, but these animations have remained in our collective awareness because of something much stronger, something not moored to one era's interpretation. Why do we miss this so often? I think it stems from the same delusion voiced by the Oscars.
So?
I don't want to give away everything.
It's a testament to our cultural immaturity that we think that animation is a genre rather than a medium, and that it's...
Yep, there's a little...
than a medium, and that its audience is solely limited to children. I attest that animation is freedom. Not just freedom from the financial demands of a big budget production, as we can witness creative and entertaining animations here on YouTube, but also freedom from reality's limitations. Physical action that might seem impossible, but is still wildly appealing. Character designs that might look wrong in real life, but can have a certain charm in the animated form. Can have a certain...
Actually, this one might be a time where I have to extend.
life, but can have a...
All right, right about there.
real life, can have a certain charm in the animated form. In fact, the more exaggerated a character's appearance, the more their potential to become iconic. Yet above all is the freedom of expression, to have control over lighting, environments, timing, and not fear of a stunt gone wrong. Thinking that animation is only for children limits our creative expression and denies a chance to experience possibilities as an adult. This is not to say that animation is faster or easier than a live-action production. Even a short dive into the production process reveals a labyrinth of storyboards, oddly named dope sheets that describe keyframes, and early test screenings. Yet all that effort can reveal something unique and beyond anything one can accomplish.
All right, there was a breath.
Unique.
Take my breath away.
And beyond anything unique, and beyond anything one can accomplish trying to simulate reality, to say nothing of classic cartoons that definitely appeal to an older audience. Yet somehow we convince...
There we go.
Yet somehow we convince ourselves that it's more mature to see a live-action version that never fully measures up to the energy of its animated origin. Need I compare bending differences in The Last Airbender
YouTube doesn't like me playing all these clips, so I gotta be careful.
versus... And the tragic thing is that that little throw was probably more expensive than an entire episode. And consider the domain of live-action movies that have become animated shows. How much more did the Men in Black series expand on the world better than the movie's own sequels? I've only encountered this twice in one video, and that's 2 times too many. Do you really think the cast of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson could battle Cthulhu using a roller coaster without...
Here we go.
using a roller coaster without going over budget? Because the real Ghostbusters did just that. Then we have the likes of Beetlejuice, Back to the Future, Godzilla, the one without Godzuki, Clone Wars, and even a Free Willy cartoon, if you can believe it. Don't get me wrong, the live-action starting points for these were their own experiences and fondly remembered. The animations that followed were of their own unique interactions. What live action starts, animation can greatly expand upon. I'm not as confident of the reverse. Even with the biggest budget, the best acting, the most advanced technology, a movie that leans heavily on CG will always have a note of insincerity, as the actors are having to interact with something not present. Which brings us back to the My Little Pony movie on the distant horizon. Other than the fact it's being produced, I have no actual information. I can't even read the original news post because the In Snyder has a paywall. So the prime question is how they are going to
Let's do two things here. When it changes, I want Silver-Quill's expression to change at the same time.
So the prime
Whoa.
I can't even read the original news post because the In Snyder has a paywall. So the prime question
Should have changed right there. What gives? There we go. There we go.
So the prime question is how they are going to achieve this live action. I fear there's little chance live action. I fear there's little chance of using something like Jim Henson's Creature Shop to create animatronics. I've heard some fans suggest that the cartoon horses become human if they cross over into our world, but then you're destroying the central premise. Plus, the fans of Uma Musume Pretty Derby might revolt. I would like to point out that Equestria Girls did it first. Another option is like the Roger Rabbit, Space Jam, Tom and Jerry, and Rescue Rangers movies. Keep the ponies animated, but present them in the real world. Could work, not sure. Definitely would not be a fan of another They Come to Our World storyline.
Anyway. All right, let's see here. Just seeing what everybody's been talking about in the chat as I've been going through. A Voltron live action. That would be something. Is that in the works? I am unsure. Baldur's Gate 3 is getting a TV show. Unsure. All right, Raccoon Crossing, you have an excellent night. We'll catch you again soon. Rocky and Bullwinkle. Ah, yes. I can't include everything that's
Was over that with He-Man.
It was an inefficient combustible system.
All right, let's boost that just a little.
It was an inefficient combustible system.
Now, they could use CG to emulate both the ponies and the setting, but at that point, you're just animation in denial. It's like the live-action Lion King. At best, you're getting a genuine footage of a sunrise, and that's it. But what if they flip it? Live-action actors who go into an animated landscape, a la animated landscape.
Here we go.
To go into an animated landscape, a la the Minecraft movie. That is some potential, but again we face the struggle of an actor trying to work with a green screen character. And I don't think this film would have the budget to match Lord of the Rings. I realize I'm sounding pretty pessimistic with all this. Again, live action has a problem of copying events without understanding.
Here we are.
Events without understanding the spirit behind them, the genuine journey. Within the decade-spanning franchise of My Little Pony, we're often presented with a theme. Dark or sinister forces clash against innocent and sometimes naive ponies. The struggle is how the ponies meet this challenge without betraying their own kind natures. They often overcome by drawing others towards them, including their opponents. If the movie can understand that factor at least, I think it'll end better than some other adaptations. But it's going to be a busy time with a lot of life to live before this movie comes out. We don't even know the staff, the actors, or the central premise. What are you hoping to see in this new movie? Would you rather have an entirely new cast or some familiar horse faces? Do you have a favorite live-action adaptation, or a favorite animation born from live-action? Whatever the case, it seems the pony train just keeps on a-rolling. Which makes my placement very unfortunate. See? This is why you don't do this sort of thing in real life.
Okay. Oh, that's a bit of... what would I call it? Oh, wow. I'm suddenly blanking on a proper word. Tedium. There we go.
Some other adaptations.
We will kill them all.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You've only seen one movie this year, Blue Ink, and it was Charlie the Wonder Dog. Ooh. Ah, yes, the Mario movie. That's the other movie I've been looking forward to. Goodness. All right. Well, I need to pause this music real quick because the last thing I need to do narration-wise is record a quick pickup. Because, well, this hasn't come up in the first 3 weeks of 2026. I need to change that to 3 months. And no, I still haven't gotten over most of the news. It's just a bombardment of madness. So let's just... Let me just find the needed... All right, so let's get this up and going. Come here, Adobe Audition. I have need of you. Ah, Jay Yoshi, I do know which character you're looking forward to in the Mario Galaxy movie. Toadette. Or maybe another Shy Guy. They actually did make the Shy Guys look pretty darn terrifying in the first Mario movie. All right, now this will require a little bit of chaos. I'm going to start recording, then switch my mic. So now you should hear me, but I sound very far away. That is because I'm moving to the microphone. The only problem is that the reorganization I've been attempting got a bit sidetracked by packing for HarmonyCon. So now I have a bunch of stuff in the way. But that's okay. Some careful repositioning and praying to God will see me through safely. We are like, sweet baby Jesus, please save me in my neck. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 weeks of 2026. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 weeks of 2026. Months. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. Okay, now I'm going back to the computer. Back to the computer once again. Woohoo. Oh, that was fun. Okay. You should all be hearing me as normal right now. Well, Preston, 2026 has not been an easy go for just about anybody. In January, the one friend lost his father. Then this month, another friend lost her father. I've been concerned for the health of my parents as mobility is becoming more of an issue for them. And, well, I see all manner of news and tragedies, and I can't rule out, well, okay, not trying to get political, but boy howdy, everything that comes down the news feed just makes me wonder how our government hasn't burnt down yet. So perhaps that's a testament to the strength of the system, but also some inflexibility. Oh, this is going to take a hot second. Something else you're looking forward to is the Thomas and Friends movie on Netflix, Blue Ink. Huh. That'd be curious. Alrighty. And last but not least, a de-esser. Wonder if there's a way to remove breaths. Well, one thing at a time, eh? No, wait, no. Stop. Delete the audio. Save this. Then save this as proper. Yes. Alrighty. Now, that should have auto-updated the audio over here.
Insanity of the first, and I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026.
All right, insanity.
And I can't yet process the insanity of the...
Oh, lucky. I was afraid I'd have to rearrange the timing.
And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 weeks of 2020.
Well, now that's not good.
And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. And I can't yet process...
Okay.
Having some of my local buds move out of state. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. So when this news strangely popped up on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025...
Swordbreaker, I like it. Let's drink a cerveza cristal for the So Far Crazy 2026. Do the reverse and do a video of nothing but breaths. Okay, that just sounds like a stalker on the phone. That's creepy as can be. No, thank you. Now, I need some fire. Firework display? No. Fireworks, dragon fire. I guess...
And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. So when this news strangely popped up on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, I had something that could at least take my mind off things, for which I am grateful. Now, I've seen
Okay.
I don't think it's a bold declaration to say 2025 was a difficult year.
Good. Oh, my goodness. My gracious. My Guinness. Alrighty, tidy chat. Just seeing how we all doing. Now, the question came up earlier, what don't I like about G1? And well, G1 had a lot of fun fantasy ideas to it. But it always felt like the pony characters didn't get to stand out as much as the humans. And, well, they didn't want to scare kids, specifically little girls. But really, I thought, like, Rescue from Midnight Castle with these Stratodons, I thought that was pretty awesome. I mean, more of that, please. Don't underestimate the resolve of young women. Also, while it's kind of funny, MLP, Friendship is Magic ponies all have similar body types, but they do enjoy more distinctive manes and eyes. Whereas, well, all of these are the same design, just different colors, which led to no end of animation errors. It's tough. So I'd like to believe that that it's been an upwards trend, but as noted by Cosmin Inspira, there's things like Sting and Morning Glory who really got along well and provided a different approach. If anything, the villains of G1 My Little Pony were pretty memorable. It's why some of them got updates. Whereas, well, I don't know if anyone's going to remember the Storm King very much. He wasn't, but Tempest gets fondly remembered. Okay, so don't
just start the video.
All right, so we need some music. We're in the home stretch, but I don't want to jinx it. Music is down here now. True Silver-Quill resources. Music and sound effects. Music, silly. Oh, well. What a choice. Nope. Maybe. Nope. Nah. No. You know what? I think Bod's Job is a good fit for this. All right, we'll start this with a 2-second fade up, but then I need a slightly longer for, excuse me, I should say 2-frame fade up. Let's move this to 20 frames. Not a full second, but...
Okay. I'm okay. Whew. Whew. Okay. I'm okay. Whew. Whew. I'm okay. But I gotta find the humor in things nowadays, or else I'll go crazy. Crazier. I don't think it's a bold declaration to say 2025 was a difficult year.
All right. Let's see about melancholy. I don't think that's how you spell that. Melancholy. There we go. Slow. There we go. Guitar engine grieving. Maybe not that bad. Yeah, let's go with that.
I'm okay. But I gotta find the humor in things nowadays, or else I'll go crazy. Crazier.
How we doing, chat? Dinner in a bit? Same here, Cherry Flapelli. Good night, Cosmonaspera. Have a good rest.
I don't think it's a bold declaration. Date. I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026.
Alrighty, let's get that in there. Shrink it on down.
It's a bold declaration to say 2025 was a difficult year. From national conflicts to blows to entertainment to having some of my local buds move out of state. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. So when this news strange...
Alrighty. Let's see if I can make it look like this is all just one song. Hopeful. No, I don't think so. How long ago was that? Created, 2020. That should be under my music library then. Now.
And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. So when this news...
Let's try. Or maybe I'll just go with this song.
This news strangely popped up on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, I had something that could at least take my mind off things, for which I'm grateful. Now, I've seen many of my fellow fans denounce or decry this decision, and not without good cause. Yet before I tackle that, let's consider how this serves as an odd kind of compliment. I think back on so many cartoons
Let's take this all the way to the A roll.
move out of state, and I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. So when this news strangely popped up on Tuesday, July 15th...
Okay, yeah, there is no way that is blending. At least not as it currently is. Let's see about... How does it sound if I just...
2025, I had something that could at least take my... It's a bold declaration to say 2025 was a difficult year. From national conflicts to blows to entertainment to having some of my local buds move out of state. And I can't yet process the insanity of the first 3 months of 2026. So when this news strangely popped up on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025, I had something that could at least take my mind off things, for which I am grateful. Now, I've seen many of my fellow fans denounce or decry this decision, and not without good cause. Yet before I tackle that, let's consider how this serves as an odd kind of compliment. I think back on so many cartoons I watched when I was a kid. While many strove to reach that 65-episode syndication goal line, few were able to garner such a following that corporations thought they could make some extra money by producing a live-action adaptation. For a time, there are only a few that came to mind. At one end of the spectrum was the ludicrous and campy Masters of the Universe movie.
Yes, you do!
Then there was the...
Oh, another little breath.
Then there was the pièce de résistance that was the first live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Let's check something real quick. Audio channels. Oh, lordy. Why do I have so many? That's better.
And then they tried to adapt Super Mario Bros. And I think it speaks to the closed nature of the cartoon live-action cycle that Michael Bay got his CG-stained hands on the Ninja Turtles franchise. And we're waiting to see how a new live-action He-Man will turn out. In between these brackets, the early 2000s added a live-action G.I. Joe.
Oh, and a kung fu grip. Wow.
And Michael Bay's Transformers.
Yeah, okay, we've seen enough of that.
Plus 2 Tomb Raider movies, Street Fighter, and Mortal Kombat adaptations with varying degrees of entertainment. And then there was this thing. Just a little bit more on that shortly. Yet for all this, it does speak to the subject matter's popularity. With that...
All right, so do we have any music that speaks to creativity? A positive change? Not quite. Nope. How is Bleak Future creative? Yeah, no, thank you. Christmas Day, Colliding Hearts, Creative Space. Yeah, let's give creative thinking a try in more ways than one. There's a new Pokemon game, Swordbreaker. Ma foi. Well, I guess it makes sense for the 30th, but boy, it just doesn't end.
Of entertainment. And then there was this thing. Just a little bit more on that shortly. Yet for all this, it does speak to the subject matter's popularity that companies would even make the attempt.
It doesn't work for me. It's too fairy-like. Positivity? Well, maybe a little too positive. Yeah, let's give this a go. You're supposed to go in here. Music. Whoa. It's one long sound bed. Let's see if we can make use of that.
Yet for all this, it does speak to the subject matter's popularity that companies would even make the attempt. As noted on Animation Iconic's website, a high-budget 3D animation project can cost up to $30,000, whereas a first-grade live-action can cost you upwards of $50,000. With that budgetary difference in mind, it seems that a live-action show is so... It seems that...
Still gotta correct that darn voice of mine.
Difference in mind, it seems that a live-action show is so much more of a financial risk. So I don't think I'll ever get to see a live-action Mask outside of the old 80s commercial.
Tracker here. Assemble masks. Intruder closing in.
And even less of a chance of Starcom.
Now, the secrets of Michael.
Okay, that one's trying so hard to be epic, I wouldn't deny it.
Late, crowbar.
When I think of those ads and why they invested more on live action rather than more animated commercials like the Transformers and G.I. Joe, I wonder if part of the goal was to indeed make the series feel more real to the target audience. And if that was actually a mistake. And I hear you say, Silver, you vectored Verdun. What about the Disney live action movies?
I like The Lion King myself.
Yes, this strange trend of reimagined classics that's meant to be an update to modern audiences, but ends up disappointing almost everyone.
Again, trying to be epic. I'm not going to compete with their sound.
The strange thing is that I tend to view these live actions in a separate category. While New Line Cinema took a bold chance on indie production company Golden Harvest and the Ninja Turtles movie, Disney's rehatching seems much more nepotistic. Even if the movie...
Wait, did I say rehatching?
Disney's rehatching seems...
Ugh. All right, let's just see here.
Seems much more nepotistic. Took a bold chance on indie production company Golden Harvest and the Ninja Turtles movie. Disney's rehatching seems...
Yeah, I said rehatching.
Even if the movie does end up disappointing almost everyone. Now, Hasbro and Amazon...
Rats. Yeah, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Good progress. One more pickup to be done. What can you do? Rehatching. With what? Do you hatch an idea, then shove it back in the egg, then hatch it again? No, that's unnatural. Alrighty. I'll just get this set, but I won't. You guys don't have to sit through another round of me trying to kill myself getting to the mic. Okay, now I'm going back to the computer. Just start. Here we go. We'll start it up there. I said, let's see here twice. Well, appreciate the keep it track ender pup. I mean, I say, let's see. I think you can count it if I say, let's see. And so therefore, a little redo on the audio and some more music and credits. I can't get it done in time before the end of February, but I can get it ready for March. Because I have no doubt there'll be some bonsai bonkers news coming down the pipe for the end of the first quarter of the year. Woo-hoo. Hello, beloved Blade. Glad you could join us. I'm sorry we're going to be closing shop shortly. Oy, oy, oy. You haven't seen the original Masters of the Universe movie, Blue Ink. Well, I don't know you need to. I mean, you might want to tackle this newest version with the fresh eyes. Of course, I'll be just the cantankerous old guy. Back in my day, you had Dolph Lundgren playing He-Man. And he didn't even speak English good. Oh, hey, Maddie. Good to see you. And, well, sorry, yes, I'm about to close things down because we've had good progress. Let's see. Work on the writing group Mascot is looking pretty good. I am pleased. Just got to get a little bit more done. And just got to get a little bit more done on the next video. Oh, no, please don't make me go till 11 p.m. I started this morning getting my friend to the airport around 6:45 a.m. It's been a wild ride, and I am not a morning person. My hat's off to those who have to get up that early or earlier to get to their jobs. So, but now, I shall continue onward, and, well, I'll look forward to seeing what March has in store for us. Yes, I sound pessimistic saying I expect crazy news, but, well, I always expect that. It's just the norm right now. I'm afraid my wishing everyone a boring 2026 has already gone up in smoke. But I remain undaunted. We shall continue onward. We shall continue to be creative in our own ways. We shall, well, as the quote says, the journey is never ending. There's always going to be growth, improvement, adversity. Just got to take it all in and do what's right as best you can. And that's the heart of living. Do your best no matter what. So, with that in mind, I wish you all just the best weekend. Time with friends and family, time to alone to center yourself, whatever you need. I wish you all the best. And in the meantime, I'll keep doing my best to get back in the swing of making videos and having more of a presence online. So everyone, before I close, oh dear. What is my favorite Rainbow Dash quote? Oh, well, 20% cooler will always be the great meme of the fandom. But I think what she said to Scootaloo is my favorite. Maybe you'll fly, maybe you won't. You're still all kinds of awesome anyway. And that's a good message to end on. Have a good night, and I'll see you all in March. Be safe and be well.